Hey folks, DJ Remark here, and in this video I'm going to talk about why I love horror and why it is the primary genre in which I produce my films. I'm going to give a brief history of horror, delve into some psychological stuff, and explain why it's my favorite film genre and why I also think it's the best genre for new filmmakers to cut their teeth in the filmmaking world. Why horror? What is it about horror movies that keep audiences coming back for more? What is it about the feeling of fear that is so attractive to people, and why, against our basic instincts, do we subjugate ourselves to feeling terror and calling it entertainment? In this video, I'm going to talk about why I love horror and why it is the primary genre in which I produce my films. I'm going to give a brief history of horror, delve into some psychological stuff, and explain to you why it's my favorite genre of film and why I believe it's the best genre for new filmmakers to use to cut their teeth in the filmmaking world. The most agreed upon first horror film is George Méliès's The House of the Devil. Horror films have been around for a very long time, and many have been a staple in entertainment since the moving picture was established as an art form. So why do we like horror movies? On the face of it, this is peculiar. Horror movies are designed to evoke negative emotions in viewers: fear, dread, anxiety, horror, and disgust. Why would anybody in their right mind seek out such feelings? An article written in Psychology Today says, "It is not that paradoxical. Horror movies immerse us in fictional worlds that are full of ancestrally resonant danger, and most of us enjoy this imaginative engagement with threat scenarios. It's not that different from children finding great pleasure in chase play, which is basically a ritualized enactment of predator-prey interactions. Presumably, we evolved to find pleasure in threat simulation because of the learning potential of such simulation." I actually agree with this, and I think it's the reason why a lot of people actually react to certain horror movies the way they do. We put ourselves in these situations where we allow ourselves to feel that fear, feel that adrenaline, feel that excitement, all while knowing that we're safe on our couch. It's also the reason why a lot of people react to horror movies the way they do by yelling at the screen or trying to correct the characters about don't go in that door, don't go down that hallway. It's that defense mechanism that, just kicks in and sort of conditions us to act and react a certain way. It's also probably why a lot of people over time become desensitized to horror, because we've just seen so much and we've seen it all. And so we almost know what to expect. And so therefore that feeling of genuine terror doesn't, take over us anymore, but we still get that same excitement and same enjoyment out of watching horror films. An exact and precise modern definition of horror, however, is difficult to determine. Horror has been defined as a spontaneous response to shocking visual stimulus, and as a compound of terror and revulsion. In Cowan's interpretation, imagined horror provides entry to the made-up world where fears are heightened but can be mastered. It accesses a core of fears we may share as humans, such as the fear of being attacked in the dark. It provides a way to conceptualize, give shape to, and deal with the evil and frightening. I saw my first horror movie when I was 16, and it was The Ring. The movie scared me so bad I had to turn it off within the first 15 minutes. But something unexpected happened to me in that fear. I wanted to keep watching. I wanted to finish the movie. When I finally did, I had to take time to digest it and really think about what it was that made me enjoy it so much. It was the special effects, the makeup, the prosthetics, the way they made her crawl out of the TV. It was an incredible display of horrifying images that piqued my curiosity to the point where I wanted to know all of the ways they made it look so real. This caused me to start watching more horror movies, and when I got my hands on a DVD, I would go straight to the bonus features and watch anything where they would talk about the special effects. I was introduced to the master of horror makeup, Tom Savini,
and of Jason the Killer. And there's a scene where he gets a machete he gets hit in the palm with a machete, and you see it splits right there.
Oh, God!
But this is also...
Oh, my God! Stop it, Jesse!
And, if I were a little more artistic, might have gone into horror movie makeup as a profession. Alas, I still get to watch masters at work when I make my own films. Some horror movies are made specifically to shock and disgust you, movies like Terrifier, Hostel, and The Human Centipede, which focus more on gore and spectacle and little, or none at all, in narrative or character development, while others focus on telling deeper stories while exploring the people that live them. Mike Flanagan's acclaimed horror TV show, The Haunting of Hill House, is a story about a family coping with past trauma and the stages of grief. George Romero's Night of the Living Dead is a critique on American society in the 1960s and Cold War politics. The first Saw movie is about a man tortured by his inevitable death, trying to make people see with their own eyes how important life really is. The latter approach to horror in filmmaking is what I gravitate towards and what I hope to achieve with my own films. I want to be able to tell stories that mean something to me, while using horror as a vehicle to tell those stories. I have a special place in my heart for all the shock, splatter, and trash that can be found in horror, but those elements will always act in service of character and story, not the other way around. I think the best thing about horror is that it can span the rest of the film genres. You can have comedy, adventure, romance, and even family horror films, which makes it the most widely accessible genre for newbies to cut their teeth on. Many great modern directors got their start in horror, or have dipped their toes in the horror genre in their career. Peter Jackson became a household name when he directed The Lord of the Rings, but he got his start making low-budget horror like Dead Alive and Bad Taste. And if you haven't seen those movies yet, please stop this video right now and go watch them. So if you're looking to get into horror filmmaking, the time has never been better for you to begin. And if you haven't watched my video, How to Break into Horror, go give that a watch. I'll provide a link in the description. And then get started on your script. Get a bunch of friends together and spend a weekend doing your absolute best to scare the hell out of anyone and everyone you can. And I promise you'll have a lot of fun doing it.